It's a new season. It's a new day of fresh anointing. I can feel it. It's flowing my way.
The senior presiding elder of the New York Conference presents herself as your candidate for the episcopacy, Reverend Dr. Cynthia Willis Stewart.
Oh, yes it is. It's a new season, and it's coming to me. Oh, we believe it. Would you help me say? New season. It's a new day of fresh anointing.
My theme is inspired by God, and it says, vision, courage, and hope for such a time as this. I quote from Blackaby, a theologian who says, spiritual leadership is moving people onto God's agenda, and that is what I'm seeking to do more of through the vision, with the courage to do the same, and the hope born out of God-inspired action.
Nurtured in Zion Methodism, Reverend Cynthia Willis Stewart is president of the Presiding Elders Council of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church and chairman of the Board of Christian Education for the New York Conference.
Vision has several components, but 4 pillars would be, first of all, cooperative ministry. And under that, I would just give two items. First of all, administering needs assessment instruments, starting at the local level and moving up to ensure that the implementation of the results is achieved. Because once we implement what we have found, then it looks for better days ahead. Next, we need to forge partnership between the pulpit and the pew. And I'm talking about a partnership that leads to expansion and the upbuilding of God's kingdom. That involves, of course, deliberate planting of churches. It involves meeting the needs of the people of the church and community. And of course, it involves evangelism.
After serving many years as pastor, presiding elder, and bishop's administrative assistant in the Guyana, Trinidad, and Barbados conferences, Dr. Stewart gained valuable experience in the Department of Overseas Missions before joining First African Methodist Episcopal Minister under then Reverend Dr., now Bishop, James E. McCoy, when, after 7 years, she was appointed pastor, Westbury African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, Westbury, New York. The New York Annual Conference has unanimously endorsed her candidacy.
Next, I would look at elevating lay and ministerial leadership and scholarship. I'm not saying that everyone has to go and have a PhD, but what I'm saying that we need to elevate ourselves academically through conference studies, not sliding through, but ensuring that we do the work that we have at hand. Then we have several leadership training and continuing education components that could be done. We have to enable ministers and their congregations to assess and employ the gifts and skills that they have in ministry. I'm not talking about pews, about the pulpit alone, but in our pews we have so many people with gifts that could be used. We need to ascertain what they are and then involve them for the work of the church. We need to acknowledge and create possibilities for individuals called to ministries other than pastoral ministry. It seems that there's only one track, and that's the pastoral ministry. But if we assess the gifts that are around, people are gifted for the teaching ministry. Then we could look at prison ministry. There are so many gifts that we could do to meet the needs of the people. And this is what we're seeking to. In essence, what we're trying to do is a partnership to make a difference.
The children walk in victory. It's all available to you right now. Taste and see. It's a new season. 'Cause it's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointing. Yeah. Glory, my words. It's a season of power and prosperity.
In the year 2000, Bishop George W. Walker Sr. appointed Dr. Stewart the first female presiding elder of the Mother Conference, where she served the Long Island District and then the newly created Westchester District, where she now oversees 25 churches.
The third pillar is capital formation. And if we're in Zion, we know that we have to find a way to develop means for generating capital at all levels. We have to explore alternative investments and income streams that support and yield returns. We cannot continue to just depend on assessments.
You know, it comes a time in everyone's life when there's a time for it.
The fourth pillar is promoting unity. We ought to strengthen the links in the chains of our connectivity. The AME Zion Church is a connectional church, but we need to strengthen those links. Can't go into all of it here, but as you see me, you could stop and ask, and we could talk more about these pillars. I'm tempted to answer this question by saying, let the works I've done speak for me. For 4 decades, I have been a writer, teacher, preacher across the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, both in the United States and overseas. I say I'm a woman of moral turpitude. I offer you vision, courage, and hope for such a time as this.